Welcome back to another episode of the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. I am Delia, and today we are doing another episode of our marketing podcast. And today we are talking about Q4 marketing mastery and strategies to finish 2023 strong. So,
Yeah, well, we got to do this. We do this every September because every September we see spa owners, both solos and teams, quite frankly, starting to freak out right about now that their books are not as busy as it was in the summertime. So, um, we're here again. Every September, we'll do the same thing again, just to remind those of you that keep forgetting that, this is just part of the seasonality of the spa industry. If you have particularly for if you have a full service spa, for sure, the fall is quieter. If you are a waxing spa, you will be quieter, unless you've been in business many, many years, you just have a full clientele. So regardless, we really need to talk about how to get the last quarter of your marketing on track, on point, so that, we say, so you can hit your sales goals, but we know it's so much bigger than that, right?
right. Yeah. So, I mean, there's kind of, it's a big can of worms, really, but there was one thing that, it's not really relevant to this podcast, but it is in a way. So over the weekend, I had sent Kirsten a post that was in an aesthetics group, and an esthetician was selling a piece of their facial equipment. And so,
and a really good one.
a really like a really good one, like
Yeah.
one that I know clients. I used to have this machine in my spa, actually. So, and it was like this beautiful red carpet facial. But the thing that caught my attention is that the post said that they were selling this piece of machinery because there was no demand. And that was her selling feature of this piece of equipment. So, so I noticed it right away as a marketer. I was like,
Whoa.
that might be a little difficult to sell if you had no demand. So it's not that there was no demand, likely. Unfortunately, she very likely didn't know how to position the service as a valuable offer to her clients.
Yeah.
And so I think this story kind of prompted us to.
Yeah, like it prompted us to talk about, like, it's this difference between what spa owners think is in demand
Yeah.
versus what they end up finding out is in demand, but in the middle is their marketing. And if they don't know how to market it very well, for sure, it could look like nobody's buying this service and it's just not in demand. But that's not actually necessarily true. Right?
It's most likely not true, right?
Yeah.
So, a couple of things that happen is with spa owners, especially when it comes to their marketing, is that you're looking at your marketing too closely and going month to month without having and we usually like to do it in 6 months, but having a 6-month big picture. So when we work with our digital marketing clients, when we first onboard them, we always start with a 6-month overview of topics. So we come up with generalities of topics so that they flow together with seasonality, with client pain points. And then what we end up doing is once we get this big picture done, it's all on a spreadsheet. And then we meet our clients month to month. And that's where we really dig into the details of the strategy and how we're going to implement it. So we'll get a little bit more granular with what we're the points that we're talking about.
And it makes total sense why spa owners really struggle with their month-to-month marketing, because, like, you're kind of looking at it. Most spa owners kind of jump in like maybe the week before the beginning of the new month, and they're like, okay, what do we do for September? September, what do we do? I don't know. What do we do for September? And so it's kind of fractionated in a way, like,
Yeah.
every month feels like it's disconnected.
Well,
And
and it's scrambled and usually pulled together last minute, and not having kind of that big picture really puts a lot of holes in the marketing.
yeah, you just can't, you're so close to things, like, you can't see it. Yeah.
Well, and
So
I do it with myself. So I mean, we talk, Kirsten and I talk about this all the time. It's like I can't just sit and come up with things for my own marketing without kind of taking a step back and looking at the big picture. When I'm in it, I'm too close to it. So,
and it's hard to do by yourself.
hard to do by
Really.
yourself. It's very
So,
hard to do by yourself. Yeah.
like, Delia lives in the digital marketing world. Like that's what she does for a living.
Yeah.
And, she's saying, I have a hard time coming up with ideas. Just
Mhm.
because you know a lot about spa, Delia knows a lot about marketing, it doesn't kind of save us from those moments where we're like getting ready to sit down and start strategizing.
Yeah.
So this is why having, when Delia and I do this together, it makes it so much easier
Yeah.
to come
And
up with ideas, six
and what
month
did
ideas, monthly ideas.
yeah. And what do? We go to our 6 month, we might have a 12 month, but we go to our big picture strategy doc and we've already fleshed it out. So we don't have to start coming up with new ideas. We can go in and say, okay, this is what we've decided for this month because of seasonality, etc. And here we are.
Yeah, it just makes it a little easier to get started. Two
Yeah,
things.
for sure.
One is doing it with somebody, and number two is having that, starting out with a 6 month overarching strategy.
The other thing that I see come up for spa owners is that you're not fully aware or you don't know how to come up with those seasonal client pain points because you don't know what your ideal client wants. So when you are trying to come up with marketing ideas, it makes it even harder. Like you know what you want for your clients, but how do you get those clients to want it, right? That means so you want them to really have it, but they don't know that they need to have it. And this means that you absolutely must do an ideal client avatar. You must do the work for it, for your ideal client avatar. You can't get away with your marketing without it. Otherwise, you just sound, and I see this all the time, you sound super general, you sound super vague. You're not really getting into the psychology and the nitty gritty of how those clients are feeling and what they're going to be interested in based on what you're presenting to them in your marketing implementation and strategy.
And valid, doing your ideal client avatar work is work. It's not easy, and especially if you're not a marketer.
Right.
um, like a lot of spa owners, when we ask them, do you know who your ideal client is? They'll say yes. And yet it's full of holes. Like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of information missing there. You need more than my ideal client is looking for anti-aging
Yeah.
treatments. You need more than my ideal client is, you know, earns over $100,000 a year. That's, you know, you need
Let's start
way
there.
more. You need the
Yeah.
psychological pain points, like getting
Mhm.
into their head. And
Mhm.
it's tough. It's really tough to do that. That's normally kind of figuring out your ideal client avatar is normally something you would do with somebody who has a marketing background, just because there are lots of little pieces in there that you wouldn't even know. You just don't know to figure it out.
Yeah, we use an avatar template that we've created that we use, and there's some research involved that happens with it because you have to get really deep into that, and it's hard to kind of come up with those ideas on your own.
Yeah. And the other thing in general, so Delia's talked about, you know, as far as your pain points and your struggle for coming up with ideas is like not having that kind of not a long-term marketing plan, but a midterm, like 6 months, and also not being aware of your ideal client.
Mhm.
Those two big things right there really just kind of put you in a spot of just feeling lack of inspiration for anything, and you're kind of probably sitting in your in your chair at your desk like a lump, going, ugh, now what? I feel like all the topics we've done a couple of times, and I don't want to repeat them. Boring, right? So that's another piece that really gets to spa owners right around this time of year trying to figure out marketing.
Mhm.
All of this kind of accumulates into this feeling of avoidance. When we don't know how to do something or we don't know how to do it very well, hell yeah, I want to avoid it.
Me
And
too.
there's other things that we could get done, like fold laundry and let's do a deep clean of the spa, things we haven't done for a bit.
Yeah.
Um, and so we get avoidant. And when we get avoidant, we are looking at other things to do, we're procrastinating, and it doesn't fix anything in your spa business, especially this time of year. So all of these pain points that we've talked about is really about this cycle, this marketing cycle, this leadership in marketing cycle of unhealthy behavior in your business, right? And so when we think about creativity, marketing is creative, tactical as well. But when we think about creativity, what's the opposite of creativity? It's destruction. So if we are not being creative in our marketing, like getting to work on our marketing, we are actually being destructive to our business. So, my big call out for spa owners for August and coming up in September is all about clean up your unhealthy business behaviors and patterns. It's time. It is not serving you. It's not cleaning. It's not serving your clients. It's not serving your vision. It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. And especially this day and age. I mean, we can't get away with saying things that we used to be able to, right? So there's just so much online stuff going on that we have to be able to let people kind of find us through the weeds, right?
Yeah, and you got to keep up, because I have my dog groomer she's not on social media anywhere. She doesn't have a business page. She doesn't have any personal accounts. She does not, when it first started going, she didn't want to have anything to do with it. She just bought her first laptop. This is unbelievable. She's younger than me. She's in her early 40s. And it's just kind of looking at how we've been doing things in business. We're kind of at this point now. We can't do them the old way anymore. Just can't do it. Won't get where you want to go.
No.
Time to clean up those behaviors. Now that you're aware of them, you can't not be aware of them. You're choosing not to be aware of them.
Choosing not to be aware of them, but you know that you need to do marketing. But
yes.
And one of the other pieces is that you need to know that there is a methodology to the marketing. And that's why we offer single session marketing coaching calls. So we do have a few of those marketing coaching call promos that would be an amazing opportunity to finish off your 2023 strong and with more sales and with, just
feeling like you've pulled it together.
More organization and pull it together.
Yeah. And it feels so good when you can, especially in your marketing, when you feel like, and you've got the strategy and you've got the action steps to implement it out. That's a phenomenal feeling when you're like, I broke that habit of this and I did it this way. And now you get to improve on it. Like year after year, you get to kind of tweak and improve on it. So let's kind of map out, we wanted to map out how you can get going with this kind of strong finish for Q4. And with our marketing coaching, so there's a couple ways that works. You can either have a VIP day, which is more like an intensive, but you may not know that we also offer single sessions, which allows you to have a little bit more flexibility with your coaching. So the first coaching call that we have is called your first time coaching call, and it's half price of what our regular one-off single session coaching calls are. So it's $250 for that first call, and you can bring anything to the table. But what we're going to do is we're going to suggest we're mapping out a little topic itinerary for you so that you can use these coaching calls really strategically and be able to implement. So Delia, do you want to map out, share what we came up with?
Okay, so here's what we want to do this fall so that we can finish strong in the last quarter. So your first call, ideally, we would want to see that booked this month in September. And that is where we are going to nail down your client avatar, your ideal client avatar, so that you always know what your clients are looking for and you can take the guesswork out of your marketing. So we can get into those.
Particularly those pain points. We really help you. We give you a list of their psychological pain points so that you can use those in your marketing.
Yeah, we vetted those for you. So we'll help you put those together as far as who your ideal clients are. So that would be your first client, your first call in September, creating your ideal client avatar. And you will do that with me. We'll do it together. Your second call, I suggest that it's the first week of October. And that is where we want to dial in on your 6-month marketing strategy so that your monthly marketing ideas are more congruent with seasonality of your ideal client avatars. So now that we already know who your ideal client is going to be, then we can really, really dive into that 6-month strategy piece. Then the next call. So what we have is we've got our first time marketing coaching call, and then we also offer a 3-pack. So 3-pack marketing coaching. So that's what I would suggest is do the 3-pack. So your second call would be part of the 3-pack. Your third call is going to be the first week of October, and that's where we're going to now go into the monthly strategy. So that's where we would be working together on your November strategy, and we'd be putting it together for the strategy and your implementation. Then your fourth call is also going to be the first week of November. We always like to work a month ahead. That way we've got more than enough time to get everything done and get it all implemented and scheduled and ready to go. And so the first week of November's call would be for your December strategy. And again, we'd be working on your monthly marketing strategy and your implementation. So those are the 3 steps as far as what we suggest to bring to your marketing coaching call, the itinerary that we suggest. And when you put these pieces together, is likely you're struggling. If you are struggling with your marketing and not sure what to come up with, this is our little secret sauce to be able to get those ideas in order.
Yeah, it's, we want to take the guesswork out of it for you. If you're just like, like I really want to get better at my marketing. I want to be strategic. I want to have my marketing done a month before it actually, the month before. How good would it feel to be done your December social media and email strategy and everything's set up, ready to go. It's all scheduled for December 1st. What?
And then you don't have to do that for December. You just have to monitor.
I just monitor in December and work and do your thing. Monitor in December.
Yeah. Make sure your posts are going out. Make sure your emails have gone out properly. Yeah.
So, so Delia and I have mapped this out for you. It's kind of like a 4-call Q4, kick in the pants for your small business marketing implementation strategy and implementation. And we think you can do an amazing bang up job just by getting far more organized. It'll show up in your sales. Mm-hmm. We see this every time when
our clients love this. Like they love when we, come to our monthly strategy meetings and they're like, oh, we've got our 6-month calendar. It takes so much.
And we come to the call with ideas ourselves.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I think do you have anything else, Delia, that you wanted to add for?
No, I think that was it. I think, keep it simple, get things organized, and take advantage of your first time coaching call, because it's regularly $500 and we've got it on for $250. So take advantage of me.
I just want to also mention the 3-pack of coaching calls are $1,200. That's a $300 savings there. So, that's why we call it a little promo pack here to take advantage of. So you kind of take advantage of that first time coaching call, use those 3-pack as flexible as you want them. We've given you a timeline here so that you can use them for your Christmas and the end of year revenues.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Exciting.
All right. We'll see you next time on the Spa Business Mastery podcast. I'll be here in a couple of weeks for the business edition, and then Delia's back in a month for the marketing.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you then.
See you then. Bye.